Hello, everyone. Happy to be here with you. I'm in Austin, Texas, and it is raining here. I just got back from a hike with my two sons in the rain. We went on a 2-hour little adventure in a rainstorm, so my hair is still wet, but very happy to be with you. If you can comment that everything is working well. I'm not sure if anybody is here yet. Anyways, I wanted to start off today with a story since we're talking about focus. Yesterday I finished this painting, not yesterday, yesterday was Monday. Sunday afternoon I finished this painting, and Sunday evening I had a meditation lesson, which they're sequential, so it's sort of like a level up every time you get another lesson. And I had a lesson on Sunday after I finished this painting, and after I got my lesson, I was at my meditation teacher's house, and he has beautiful property with fruit trees and flowers, and it's just an incredibly sweet property. And I had just, I had spent the day painting this piece, and then just had my lesson, which is it's a really enjoyable lesson, which not all of the meditation lessons are. And after I finished the lesson, I decided to just stay at the property and just enjoy the splendor and the beauty of my teacher's land. And a hummingbird came and just hung out like a few feet away from me and just hovered there, looking at me. I mean, it seemed like hours. It was probably like a minute or two, but it was just a really sweet, cool experience for me, and very related to what I want to talk to you guys about today, which is what you're giving your attention to. So in my email, I talked to you guys a little bit about things that are trying to hijack your attention. So it's not just other people's moods, but it's all sorts of things. People trying to sell you things, news. Anytime you get on Facebook, you have everything that's coming at you is trying to pull you into its orbit. So you can think about every person being its own little planet, and everybody wants the world to orbit around them, including you, including me. And so you're kind of constantly being pulled in and out of other people's orbits if you allow yourself to be. So this is what we were talking about with just with other people, but this is true with businesses as well. And so you can kind of see that there's a lot of things that are competing and pulling at your attention to go in a direction of somebody else's agenda or somebody else's desires or dreams. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just something to be aware of. Today I want to focus more on two different directions that attention give you. And the first one I'm going to talk about is, it works with a kind of a way of understanding things that's called the personal mastery. And it's basically looking at a map of where you are in comparison to where you want to be as like a tension. So you've got over here, you've got where you are, and over here you've got where you want to be. And it's pulling at you. So your position of where you are and your desire for this other place is sort of stretching you like a rubber band, and it creates this uncomfortable tension. And in that tension, you have two choices. You can either move where you are, which means both practically changing things, changing habits, changing behavior, training your brain to look at different things. It also might mean healing, might mean resolving painful past experiences. It might mean letting go of old ways of thinking about things. Anyways, you're loosening the bond of the present, of where you are right now. And then on the over here, you've got where you want to be. And where you want to be you can either strengthen it, and so it pulls you more. So you've got, again, you're being stretched from where you are to where you want to be. And this can be weakened, and this can be strengthened, so that tension actually pulls you into where you want to be. And there's velocity with that because there's this tension. There's the desire builds and builds and builds and becomes stronger and stronger and stronger until it moves you all the way over here. Or you let go of your dream. You find a lot of evidence over where you are right now for reasons why you can't have your dream. And here's the thing, is that there always will be evidence over here. There's always evidence for why you can't be over there, because if you had a bunch of evidence for why you could be over here, you'd already be there. So if you're, let's say, you want to change jobs, and over here is I'm in a shitty job that I don't love, and over here is I'm in a dream job that is perfect for me. While you're over here, everything that you will see, everything that's going to be showing up in your reality is shitty job. You're getting evidence that that's the job that you can have, because that's the job that you have. Over here, in order to get over here, in order to, you have to let go of that evidence. You have to basically stop responding and relating to the reality that's showing up. So this is where your attention matters. When you are giving your attention to what you want versus giving your attention to where you are strengthening this and you are weakening this. So you're pulling yourself into this future. So this is happening constantly because you have all of these desires, constant desires, and it might be something as big and kind of comprehensive as changing jobs, but it might be something simpler like wanting to feel better, maybe you want to feel more freedom. Maybe you wish that your spouse would behave differently, or that you had more of a social life, something that you can imagine more incrementally, or that seems like a small adjustment that's out of your control. It doesn't matter at all what is creating this tension, but anytime you have a desire that's different from your current experience. So this is how you can train your attention, train your where you're giving your focus to pull you into a state that you're desiring to be in. So again, I want to remind you that while you're on this one path of getting to your desired experience, and you're practicing this focus, over here in the present moment where you've got all this evidence, that is where people are trying to hijack your attention. And I'm using that word as if they're like being aggressive towards you, and it's not what I mean. It just means that there's a lot of demand and opportunities to be pulled off course over here in current reality. In current reality, there's a lot of things pulling at your attention that are that have nothing to do with your vision, that have nothing to do with where you want to be. Okay, so that's one piece of how you can use attention to make changes in your life. The second piece is more of having to do with your internal process and your layers of consciousness. So when you are focused on very kind of physical things, you're focused on maybe focused on money, or you're focused on physical things that you'd like to have, or physical things that you'd like to change about your appearance. You're focused on the very things that you can touch, things that you can taste and smell. When you're focused on that plane, then you're kind of constantly having to manage those kinds of things. So if you're very focused on money, that can be a very powerful place to be, and I don't ever suggest avoiding that, but you might notice that you're always having to deal with it, like having to manage the things, take care of the things are breaking, you're having to get new things. You're where you're focused is where you're going to end up living. That's what your reality is going to consist of. So if you're focused on physical things, your reality is going to consist of physical things. Same with maybe another layer of consciousness might be focused on relationship. So maybe you are thinking about your partnership a lot, or you're thinking about your kids a lot, or you're thinking about friendships, or you're thinking about networking, and relationship makes up life. So again, then that's what you're managing. You're managing relationships. And there's something of a hierarchy of attention and consciousness. So where you, if you are focused, you could look at it like spokes of a wheel, where material things are the outside of the wheel. They're kind of what actually hits the road. Critically important, but if you're constantly trying to manage each end of that spoke, you're going to end up wobbling because you can't be focused on each individual thing all at the same time. And then you could look at relationship as being kind of closer to your center, but still, it's out there on the spoke. So you can look at it like if your attention is outside of yourself, focused on things that are external things, if that's where your primary focus is, your primary attention is throughout your day, then there's going to be a wobble in your life. It's going to be very challenging to find balance because you're not in your own center. So if you're giving your attention, the closer you are to giving your attention to the core of your being, the most essential truth of what you are, what your spirit is, what makes you a you, the closer you are to giving your attention to that, everything else starts to fall in place. It radiates out from that center. So from that center of well-being, that center of whatever state that center is in, that is going to radiate through. So if you are at your core, and I would say that at your essence, so that center, that layer of consciousness is pure energy. So if your intention is purely focused on your energy, on what, and another way of saying that might be what you feel like. And I'm going to draw a distinction between feeling and emotion. Emotion being like the weather, and feeling being like the climate. So emotions, you're going to get mad every day, you're going to get sad every day, you're going to get happy every day, you're going to get, the emotions are going to come and go pretty rapidly. But there's an underlying state of being or underlying feeling that is represents the quality of your energy. And if that is where you're giving your primary attention to that state of it, the state of the energy of your body, the state of energy of your mind, then things start to radiate out from that with the same quality. So if you have a quality of peacefulness, then that's going to radiate through your relationships. That's going to radiate through your kind of physical life, your home, your finances, your managing your physical kind of the mundane stuff. If you're at the center of your being, you are sort of in a panic, or you're feeling this kind of anxiety, then that's going to radiate through your relationships and radiate through your physical material life as well. So you can see how it's like you are a wheel that's traveling from over here where you are to over here where you want to be, and you're spinning. And if you're focused at the center, and that center is the quality of your being, and you're getting that quality of your being from over here of where you currently are all the way over here to where you want to be, and that's where your attention is. You're not focused on the relationships, you're not focused on the money, you're not focused on getting the things that you need. You're focused at the quality of your energy, and getting the quality of your energy from over here where you are to over here where you want to be. And then out of that center, obviously, if your center is moving forward, if your center is moving towards that desired state of being, everything must follow. You can't take the axle of a wheel, you can't take the axle and not take the tire. You can't take the center and not take the spokes. The spokes will come with the center. So giving your attention to the center and ignoring your current state, ignoring the things that are tugging at your attention that don't have anything to do with where you want to be. And I realize that sounds really selfish, and it is selfish, but I also would assert that by nature we are generous beings. So by being selfish, we end up inevitably being generous. You can't really think about what is best for you without also thinking about what is best for others, because they're inherently interwoven. You don't even have to worry about that so much because they are inherently interwoven. Like if you're thinking you have to self-sacrifice in order to do something for somebody else, that's a good indication that somebody else is hijacking your energy. Somebody else is trying to pull you off course. Whereas, like I said, if the center of your being is coming all the way over to where you want to be, doesn't that include everybody in your life? Aren't the people in your life part of that wheel? Those relationships, how those go. So that's what I have today for you for attention. I hope it was valuable. I'd love to have your questions and your comments below. And I'll be checking back in with this video and answering them just as they come in. I love you all. Thanks for spending your Tuesday afternoon with me.